Hey YouTube, what's going on? Malicious Intent here. I'm coming at you today with my Rokket Guardragon deck profile.
Never sleep again.
The last two local tournaments I went to here in Kingston with this deck complete. I went 5-0-1 and split top two because it was already 10 o'clock at night and I had to work the next day. And then I went 4-1-1, split top four so I could go to the Kingston Fall Fair because I won't be able to go next weekend because potential either I'm working or YCS. I'll get right into the deck profile. It starts with the most likely card to be banned. I wouldn't see it being legal past March, to be quite honest, and that's Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. You use this as an extender when it comes to the field. Special summons another dragon from your grave. It's special summoned from Elpie. It's special summoned by Pisty, Monster Reborn, World Legacy Succession. So pretty solid card all around. Next we have Tempest, Dragon Ruler of Storms. This card was recently moved from the Forbidden list onto the Limited list. You're allowed to play one. And this card sent to the graveyard in the main combo by Romulus searching Dragon's Ravine, pitching a card, pitching Tempest from the deck. If you open it, you can still banish two dragons from your grave to special summon it from your hand so it's not dead in your hand. Next, we have two Absol Dragons. This is straight out of the Rokket Revolt structure deck. This card's pretty boss. I'll stick it here so you can read it just a little longer there. And this card, basically, when it's sent to the graveyard, it'll add a Rokket from your deck to your hand. When it's in your hand, you can special summon it from your hand as an extender. If you control a Rokket, all-around solid card. It's also a level 7, so if I were to pick up that new BLS Link 3 monster, it could give that BLS a protection. Then we have Silver Rokket Dragon as a one-of in this deck. I'm only playing 5 Rockets with 3 Quick Launch and 2 Absol Dragons. I feel that after playing this for the last month and for the last 2 tournaments as a complete build, that 5 Rockets is the perfect number. Even though it's a floater on the end phase. But the real reason this is in here is because you can get it out of your deck turn 1, and you can choose to use Boral Sword Dragon to put it to defense, and you can have it blow itself up and again float in the end phase, but look through your opponent's extra deck, gaining invaluable knowledge and even banishing 1 card from their extra deck. Next, we have Magna Rokket Dragon. Again, it has to have its effect triggered by a Link monster, and it's a non-targeting, non-destruction send of a monster to the graveyard. 2 Rokket Tracers. This card is actually quite fantastic. Again, another card that came out of the Rokket Revolt structure deck. This card is a 4-star tuner. You can target another card you control, even in chain to that card's activation. Like if you wanted to play Upstart or Quick Launch, you could use Rokket Tracer to target that Upstart or Quick Launch that you've played, and will still resolve the effects of the Quick Launch and Upstart Goblin, but special summon a Rokket monster from your deck in order to start your combo off. And the only downside to it being that it locks you out of non-darks in your extra deck, which I'm pretty sure my extra deck has 5 of. Next, we have the one of Rokket Synchron. When this card's normal summoned, it can special summon a level 5 or higher dark monster from your graveyard. The target that I always go for is Absol Dragon. That's a 8-star synchro, so that's another easy Borreload Savage Dragon, or whichever 8-star synchros you decide to play. Next, we have the heart and soul of the deck. I've mentioned it already, the Soul Eating Oviraptor. This card's amazing. The ideal play is opening either the Fossil Dig or the Soul Eating Oviraptor, sending Carbon Denon to the graveyard from your deck, using that to special summon Flameveil Guard from your deck, making an IB, and then going full combo from there as long as you have 1 or 2 more extenders. Next, we have the 1 Carbonetton that gets sent by the Soul Eating Oviraptor, but when you open it, it's really detrimental to you being able to go off. Next, we have the one of World Chalice Guardragon, again, special summoned off IB when IB hits the graveyard, and when it's in the graveyard, banish it to special summon a normal monster, and that 1 normal monster we play is Flameveil Guard. Next, we have Omni Dragon Brotar. This card's amazing. I picked it up quite some time ago. For the last 2 tournaments, I've been playing Omni Dragon Brotar because I realized this card is so efficient. I normally special summon it off of Heavenly Spheres being tributed and special summoning a dragon from the deck. And then lastly, for the 2 monsters, making number 17 and 18 in the deck in terms of monster count, we've got White Dragon Wyverbuster and Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. But you can open that Black Dragon Collapse Serpent and have it be a dead card in your hand. That's another reason why we run the one of Allure of Darkness if you have a dead Black Dragon Collapse Serpent to start your turn. If you have an extra rocket that you don't need as an extender, it's great at 1 in the deck. Honestly, I think I run 10 dark monsters in the main deck, and 7 of them I would not mind banishing with the Allure of Darkness. Next, we have 1 Upstart Goblin. This is a 41 card deck, but I'm playing Upstart Goblin in it as the 41st card to mess with the ratios a little bit and the chances of me opening the Tempest, the Flamebell Guard, the Carbonetta. Then we have 3 Fossil Digs. This is standard in the build. This is what you use to grab your Soul Eating Oviraptor. And again, your Soul Eating Oviraptor starts off your combo. It's the easiest way to combo off in this Rokket Guardragon deck. Next, we have 1 copy of Dragon's Ravine. I've seen some decks play 2. I'm satisfied with 1. Foolish Burial. That's a must-have in this deck. I definitely play Foolish over the Dragon Shrine, which is the next spell card in our deck here. I definitely play Foolish over that, but Dragon Shrine is great in its own right, especially if you don't open the Oviraptor. You do have the option, if you do open Dragon Shrine instead, to dump both the Flamebell Guard and an Absorouter to grab a Rocket, or the Tempest to set up a next play. Honestly, I've even Monster Reborn Red Eyes Darkness Metal after a Dragon Shrine of Flamebell Guard and Red Eyes to the graveyard. Next, we have 2 Instant Fusions as extenders to help get to that turn 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, the Heavenly Spheres being a bounce, not necessarily a negate, but being a bounce of a resource off your opponent's field, or a protection from a targeting or a destruction of a card you control. Also, the Borreload Savage Dragon and a back row Impermanence or Solemn Judgment, or whatever you decide to play in your builds. So Instant Fusion grabs the Thousand Eyes Restrict as a turn 2 play to suck up an opponent's monster and then link it off, most likely for a Link Karibo. I'm playing 2 Instant Fusions and not 3 because it is a once per turn effect. Next, we have 3 Quick Launch. Pretty self-explanatory. Next, we have your Special Summoning from the Grave package in a World Legacy Succession, 2 World Legacy Guardragons, and the Monster Reborn. The Monster Reborn, self-explanatory. You can hit Red Eyes, you can hit Tempest, you can hit whatever you need out of the deck. The 2 World Legacy Guardragons, they special summon they do 2 things. They special summon a monster from the grave, a level 4 or lower dragon monster, so that's an extend play for your combos. It also moves a monster from any monster zone, including the extra monster zone, on the field to another zone. So when you make Saryuja Skulldread or Boral Sword Dragon in that extra monster zone, it allows you to move it to an unoccupied monster zone, so you don't have to link it off to make a Guardragon Agapane or Romulus or a Heavenly Sphere. You don't have to link off that big Link 4 that you just made. Also, World Legacy Guardragon is searched from the deck when Iv is summoned to the field. You will add World Legacy Guardragon. If you open World Legacy Guardragon, because you do in fact play 2 copies of that card, you can instead search for the World Legacy Succession and eventually special summon a monster to a zone a Link monster points to, and more often than not, that's special summoning Red MD. Next, we have 3 Called by the Graves. Again, you have to have that Oviraptor go off, so you want to main 3 of those. Like, it doesn't protect against Impermanence and a handful of other cards, but it's still really good to have. And last but not least, we have 3 Infinite Impermanence as the only trap in the main deck. 3 Infinite Impermanence, obvious reasons. Really good when you have to go second if you lose that dice roll. It's also really good if you do end up going first. Now, for the extra deck, we have Boral Sword Dragon. This card is obviously an OTK enabler. It also gets over any opponent's beefy monster that can still be destroyed by battle. It also targets your rocket monsters, putting them to defense to activate their effect. Next, we have Saryuja's Skulldread. Self-explanatory as well. This is a draw 4. Every time I bring it out, it's a draw 4. I'm not going to bring it out unless I get that draw 4 and put 3 cards back to the bottom of my deck. And this fixes a lot of hands, honestly. If you get as far as Saryuja in the combo and haven't been stopped, or you don't have the Saryuja's effect of drawing 4 stopped, then you probably are going full combo. Next, we have 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn. I started playing this because after the first tournament, I dropped Nibiru on my opponent. The defense on that token was 5,400, which was far higher. I think it was 900 or something like that above my Boral Savage's ability. Next, we have the Guardragon package in Elpie, the Pisty, and the Agar Pain. This actually just got banned in the OCG, the Agar Pain. We shouldn't get it banned because we don't have Gumblar. Next, we have one of the MVPs of the deck, Herodic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. This card always goes over well every time I drop it on the field, even if I drop it turn 2. Next, we have Dragoon Knight Romulus. This just special summons monsters from your hand, should you have them, but on Link Summon, grab Dragon's Ravine from deck to hand so you can dump Absolouter or Tempest. Next, we have Beat Cop, generic Link 2 monster for the deck. I use Beat Cop over Lambda. A lot of people are using Lambda instead. I like Lambda, and if you're using Lambda, you might as well main or side the 3 Gammas and the side frame driver. But the problem with Lambda is if you don't open Oviraptor or you don't open another way outside of Rocket Tracer using its effect to special summon an extender from the deck, you can't make Lambda. So I've gotten away from the Lambda. The last Link monster we have is the Link 1 Link Karibo. This is for the instant fusion of Thousand Eyes Restrict. There's 3 Synchros in the deck. Our Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, Overload Savage Dragon, and Ib the World Chalice Justicar. Pretty standard for the deck. And lastly, that Panzer Dragon and the Thousand Eyes Restrict. Panzer Dragon's just there as an option if you're using the instant fusion turn 1 just to dump a light to the grave and to not waste your Thousand Eyes Restrict. Onto the side deck. Sorry, this video has been a little long. We open it with a Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, and I might as well just jump right to the 2 Super Polys. I'm only running 1 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon and 2 Super Polys. The card's amazing. Right now, I'm not seeing the need for playing 3 Super Polys, the Dragostapelia, and the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Next, we have 2 Nibirus. I want to play 3. I don't own a 3rd one. Everybody in town is not selling them. Next, we have 2 Dino Wrestler Pancratops. This can be searched off of Oviraptor. It's also obviously good if you just hard draw that card. It's for game 2 if you win game 1 and you're forced to go second, which if you won game 1, I would say 9 times out of 10 your opponent's going to force you to go second. Next, we have 3 Artifact Lancia for your Orcus decks and your Thunder Dragon decks. Next, we have 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbits. I'd probably take out one of these for Nibiru, and the second one, I'm not sure what I'd take it out for. It gets rid of Saryuja before it can get its special summon from the hand against dragons. Also hits multi-roll. It can hit field spells, continuous spells. So it's a pretty good card overall. So I play 2 of them. I don't think it's that bad. And if I had that third Nibiru, it wouldn't even be in there. And then finally, 3 Twin Twisters. I've also considered dropping the 2 Ghost Ogres for Danko Sekas, dropping a Twin Twister for the 3rd Nibiru, so the side deck's still a work in progress. But let me know what you guys think of my deck build and the video. Hit like if you like this video, hit subscribe if you really liked it, tell all your Yu-Gi-Oh friends. Enjoy the YCS Niagra, whoever's going, guys.